Bearcat Journal here with Cincinnati Safeties coach Adam Braithwaite. So I guess first question I'm interested in, who do you think has made the biggest jump from spring to now in a safeties room?
I mean, I think obviously one guy that we're seeing now that we didn't see a whole lot of in spring is Trey.
Okay.
He was sitting, nagged a little bit during spring. Didn't see him. He stayed healthy here through this camp, and he's really playing at a high level. So that's really good to see. Another guy, Jiquan Sanks, again was nicked up a little bit in spring. I think he's finally healthy, playing at a high level. So it's great to see those two guys who played a lot of football last year playing there at a high level. And then I think you got a lot of other guys that are competing really hard, for a lot of spots right now. Obviously the depth chart's fluid every day. But I think we got some good competitions, some good battles. That changes every day right now.
Are you starting to see any clarity field boundary? I know you guys have kind of toyed with a lot of it. Are you starting
and I think we'll continue. Now's not necessarily the time to lock it in. Hey, you're just a field guy, you're just a boundary guy. We've got a few guys that are playing multiple positions. Xavier Williams bouncing back and forth between the middle and the boundary safety. Christian Harrison bouncing back and forth from field to boundary. And I think, I think we have to do that to build depth, to be able to put our best 11 on the field. So, we're still figuring that out, and it's a day-to-day operation. It's a day-to-day battle, till we get more toward Nebraska and get really honed in on Nebraska, and then we'll focus, hey, man, you're going to put all your attention here, you're going to put all your attention here. But I think there's still some battles that have to be decided before we solidify that.
As we get close to week one, kind of going off that, which of those three spots do you see the most guys that are competing that could start week one?
Yeah, I mean, I think really all three of them, right? I think, at the star position, you got Sanks, you got Antwan Peek, you got Xavier Williams. All three guys, that have played a lot of college football. Obviously, Sanks and Peek played a lot for us here last year. X played a lot, at Middle Tennessee before he transferred here. Feel good about all three of those guys. They're competing right now to see who's the first guy in the game, who's the next guy in the game, and who's going to play the most snaps. I think that's a position, that's a rugged position that you're going to need a lot of guys to man that spot. And then at the field and boundary, I kind of feel the same way. We feel really good about Trey into the boundary. Played it last year, did a really good job. And then you got, Taden Barnes doing a great job for us, and Christian Harrison doing a great job. They're competing a lot to figure out, what the best fit is there. And then you got some younger guys, like C.J. Jones had a really good scrimmage and got better there. Stanley Klein, a walk-on who did a nice job in the scrimmage, trying to prove he can give us some depth and some snaps. So, a lot of great competition at all three, really, if you ask me.
Gotcha. When you talk about Antwan Peek, obviously the playmaking ability, the turnovers last year were awesome. Kind of struggled in coverage at times. Have you seen him come along and continue to develop that trait?
He's improved tremendously physically, I think, from this last season to this season, and that starts in the weight room, addressing some of his, deficiencies. But I think he was healthy all off season. So not only did he get bigger and stronger, but I think from a mobility standpoint, from a movement standpoint, I think he's an improved player that way. So I do see improvement in his coverage skills.
Good. Thanks, Coach.